Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Achad. Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Achad. Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Achad. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to our other apostles and other bishops, the great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings as well as health and wellness to the house of David. All right. Shalom, shalom. And what I want to go into today is a topic entitled Our Heritage versus Babylon. All right. Our heritage versus Babylon. I'm a brother that, when spirit permits, I like to get into natural healing as far as herbs, in which I 100% learned about herbs from the elder apostles of Great Millstone, from the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Like, of course, elder apostle Tahar, all right, elder apostle Ramlab, all right, the elder Tazadakia. I think it's Tazadakba Salak. The elder Tazadakba, he went heavy into breaking down the pharmaceutical industry. All right. Then the other things that I'm interested in, all right, is our dietary law and how to eat according to the scriptures. All right, which we all indulge from time to time, but generally speaking, these are things that I take interest in, as well as, all right, the natural order according to our nation of women, all right, versus the order or disorder of women in America. All right, our nation versus feminism. All right, the Eastern diet versus the Western diet. The natural healing pursuant to Sirach 38 versus the pharmaceutical industry. So these things collectively make up a contrast, man. All right, and the misconception is that because America is a so-called advanced society, that everything within this kingdom is advanced, but it's not. It's actually the quite opposite. America is an inferior kingdom, symbolically referred to as the fourth beast, the toes of the beast that was mixed with iron and miry clay, which are very inferior elements. Iron and miry clay, they're inferior compared to gold and silver, which gold was the head of the beast, and silver, all right, was right beneath it, all right? The Assyrian Babylonian Empire and the Medo-Persian Empire. Okay, but America is the extension of that fourth beast, which is a mixture of iron and miry clay, which is a downgrade from the fourth beast, the Roman Empire, which was at least 100% iron, symbolically speaking. So everything within this kingdom of iron and miry clay is inferior, all right? So the grade of food is inferior. The grade of medicine is inferior, all right? The grade of our women have been downgraded. Okay, the way of humanity has been inferior under the kingdom of the Edomites. Everything has been, like I said, downgraded, man. All right, which I believe grade goes back to basically grad, Grad. That's where you get the word like step. Now, I could definitely be mispronouncing it, but it's been a while since I looked at the etymology. But basically, grade, it goes back to step. Now, when you graduate, you take a step up. When you degrade something, you take a step back. All right? So America is a low-grade kingdom. All right? If the Most High made the kingdoms like unto metals, and the Most High was a jeweler, all right, the least lucrative kingdom will be the American kingdom, all right, or the Western kingdom, the Babylonian Empire, so to speak, man. Babylon the Great will be a very inferior metal kingdom, okay? But what's superior, all right, what's superior is the house of David, or the kingdom, or the time of David, the time of King Solomon. That was a superior kingdom, because during the time of King Solomon, that was likened to the kingdom of heaven on the planet Earth. That was likened to a prelude to the kingdom of heaven, a glimpse, a sneak peek, a sample of how the kingdom of heaven would be. Okay, so well, there, you know, and I like doing lessons like this because a lot of brothers who claim to be Israelites, they still fall victim to the black culture. They still fall victim to street culture because it appeals to the flesh. But the flesh is inferior to the spirit. And the flesh, when you pour into the flesh, you're basically investing in death. Once again, when you invest energy into the flesh, when you pour into the flesh, all right, you're pouring into death. All right, as it says, the spirit and flesh, they war against each other, man. All right? And because when you pour into the flesh, the nature of the flesh is that it engenders death. All right, so the things that we just talked about, like the food, the medicine, all right, the relationship between a man and a woman, all right, those things were already set in order within our nation through the law, statutes, and commandments. All right? That's why you had something called planned marriage, or you had planned marriage, arranged marriage, so to speak. Now what do you have? Planned parenthood, man. You're planning the death of a baby, man. Right? That's why women were so guarded in their virginities, or were so heavily guarded back then, because that was their real price. The price of a virgin was high. All right, there's one interpretation of the scripture in Sirach where it says, stumble not the beauty of a woman, desire her not for pleasure. But the other one too, I think, is in Sirach 9, like desire not a maid or something like that. But if you go into the commentary, it basically said, because when you have sex with a virgin, that dowry is so damn high. 50 shekels of silver, that's not cheap, man. So the real price of a woman is in her virginity, man. Okay? But once you unwrap it, it devalues. All right? It degrades. All right? So that's why the father so heavily guarded the virginity of the daughters. All right? But look what that engendered. It engendered a woman getting married to a man, and they have a lifelong union. And they have so-called children and grandchildren, man. Which is a delight. And it's a delight to the grandmother and the grandfather, man. But that system, that structure, Salat, it engendered life. And it tells you how, like, the glory of the grandfathers and his grandchildren, something to that effect, man. All right? We had systems set up to where women took care of the grandmothers, man. The Eastern way is that the most honored people are the grandparents. So the women, they were natural nurse givers or caregivers to the grandparents. But in the West, everybody forsakes their family and pursues careers. Then they throw the grandparents in the fucking nursing home to wither and die. Okay? See, in the East, the most honored people in the family are the grandparents. But in the West, the most honored people or worship or, reverend are children, man. What can you fucking learn from children that you will reverence children so much, man? Don't get me wrong, you love your children, all right? But then again, on the contrary, the abortion rate is so damn high within our nation, man. All right? You see, there's a great contrast. See, when we discontinued from our heritage, we got hijacked by Christianity. When Esau beat our heritage from us, because we kept getting sold out to different, generation through generation, our offspring got transferred to different plantations. So the line of our heritage was cut off. Now then we got hijacked by Christianity. And Christianity is nothing but a portal to Satan and a portal to so-called white supremacy, because the outcome is what? You going back to your enemy. When you get sick, you go back to your enemy's so-called hospitals. What is a death building, man? It's a prison. All right? Through Christianity, you go through the standard American diet. You just pray over it, man. All right? Especially in the South, man. The vibration of that the world is going, and everybody's becoming more health conscious. Everybody's going into the natural way. They didn't learn that in those churches. They didn't learn that in those churches, man. That's why the scripture says in Isaiah 42 that they're snared in holes and hid in prison houses. What are those holes? What are those holes that they're snared in? Is the religion, all right? And it cuts you off from life, man. And not just religion, because our nationality ultimately is a religion, but ultimately Roman Catholicism, Christianity, man. It keeps you going to your fucking master, man. All right? The Most High created us to be a sovereign nation. Don't you know we have systems set up for our civilization? And this is something that I get into all the time, but it's always on my spirit. What can I say? All right? Pursuant to Sirach 38, he laid down the basic fundamentals of running a nation, all right, or a so-called civilization. All right, he gave you, all right, the farmer. He tells you how the farmer, he glory in the goad, the G-O-A-D, which is something you push your cattle to go forth as you till the land. He gives the kind fodder, meaning he gives his cattle food, man. Fodder is food, all right? So you have a farmer and they have land, all right? And you cultivate the land, you till the land, you grow food sources on the land. Then it goes into the carpenter. Carpenter is important because you have something called woodwork, man. Woodwork, all right, so when you get trees and you basically, you take the timber and you build, man, you build homes, all right? And the carpenter builds, take that lumber and make houses, all right? So you got the farmer, the carpenter, the blacksmith. He takes the metals of the earth, such as iron, and molds that iron into tools used by the farmer, used by the carpenter, all right, used by the potter, used by everyday people, all right. Going into the potter, you need drinking vessels and eating vessels. So but these are basic occupations where it says without these shall not a nation be inhabited. But then you have the judges ruling over them, who incorporate the laws, statutes, and the commandments to navigate, to govern these people, man. All right, that's every nation supposed to have that basic fundamental layout, man. It tells you in Deuteronomy that he gave all the nations their own land. So how do you run their land? Hey, through those occupations and ultimately those laws. You have your mighty men, all right? You have the elders. Gad still has that custom. Gad and Reuben has that custom where they reverence the elders, because the elders is like an encyclopedia to your people, man. It's like Wikipedia, man. They have so much knowledge, you know, that you learn from. As it says in the scriptures, miss not the discourse of your elders. Okay? Also within our nation, you have the priest that keeps us connected to Yahweh Shema Shai. Also within our nation, you have the men and women who are skilled in embroideries and sewing clothing, man. Not no shirt with fringes, but actual garments, okay? You have these different occupations, and you have the physician, all right? So you don't have no fucking hospital giving you poison. I was just reading an article yesterday how how they hustle chemotherapy, man. Your uncle and auntie who died from cancer, they died systemically, man. They died, it was a calculated death, because cancer is set up to keep you alive for like the next 5 years, and you die because of it. Or not cancer, but chemotherapy. And what the doctors do, the doctors might purchase the chemotherapy from the pharmaceutical company for, say, $5,000. Then they'll turn around and sell it to you as the patient for $12,000. All right, and your insurance will pay the $9,000, but the doctor pockets the $4,000. You see? So if you got a doctor that's constantly recommended to cancer patients chemotherapy, how many times can he flip that $4,000? And this aside from his regular income that he gets as a doctor. When these doctors be recommending you shit, they recommend it to you because it's their hustle. Now you go to a mechanic to get your oil changed, and they give you a printout of all the shit wrong with your car. Yeah, we recommend you get this done. It's a $2,200 job. Like, damn, I wasn't even asking for that. But damn right they recommend it, because that's their hustle. The ultimate hustle is Esau Edom, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Okay? You can't rely on a society or rely on the kingdom who markets death, and they profit off death, man. You see? They profit off death. They profit off death, man. And it's it's they control both ends of the spectrum. That's why they call it the Food and Drug Administration, because the food makes you sick, then you're relying on what? The drugs. Then the drugs makes you sick, so you take the drugs for those drugs until you ultimately die, man. And the white man get paid off for all of that. But this is a kingdom of death, man. This is a low vibration. I'm willing we make it to the kingdom. The energy of the earth is going to be bright and vibrant. We're going to experience colors and vibrations that we hadn't experienced on this side, because the earth is dim. All right? Earth is dim right now, man. But within our nation is life. And our people rebel against it because they think those restrictions that keep you from feeling fucking free are there to just imprison you, but it's there to give life, man. This is what happened when the men who don't control the destiny of their daughters, all right, or their women. Fucking nation full of harlots, fucking wild animals, man, and heat. All right, that you can't control. That's protesting that they could keep killing the babies, man. All right, this is what happened. Hey, and well, ultimately, this is what happened when we break the covenant of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. He gave us over to death, man. Embodied as Esau Edom, or Esau Edom embodies death, either or, man. All right. That's why we can't just build here, or we know we the Israelites, and then that's it. We just build here. No, this place has to be destroyed, man. Because ironically, this is a counselor, as it also says in Sirach 10, the physician cured the long disease. What's that long disease? It's his damn kingdom that's been in power since the Renaissance period, man. That's the long disease. All right, so-called westernization, all right, European colonization that birthed this American kingdom, and this little horn, man. All right, that wore out the saints of the Most High, and his word got the saints of the Most High, man. All right, but that's the difference between our nation and Babylon, our heritage and Babylon, man. But Baraka, they can profit all they want. Their gold is tainted. And it's a TikTok clip that the Leviathan has surfaced, so you know Yahweh Shai is near. And Yahweh Shai is near, which means that salvation is near. And this man's the destruction of this kingdom is near, which means the uprising of the kingdom to come is near, man. As it also says in Ecclesiastes, better is the end of a thing than the beginning, man. All right. See, one of the cons of this kingdom is that we're disconnected from earth, man. We're disconnected from life. Or you got certain cities that don't even have fucking trees in it, man. You know what that does to your psyche? Not to mention this man has harp, controlling the frequencies, got everybody on a war frequency. Not to mention this man got chemtrails, all right, killing everybody's immune system. All right, we can name 1,000 if I sit there, 1,000 things this man is doing. But that'll be what, a 4-hour lesson, 5-6 hour lesson. All right. The point is, man, the contrast between this kingdom and our heritage is life and death. It's the manifestation of the scripture. Good is set against evil, and life against death, man. Okay. But ultimately, we just got to get up out of here, man. But let me check the comment board. Yep, 1,000 scams, man. All right, but with that, hope you brothers and sisters will edify. Till the next time, shalom.